Clemson, to me, saved college football last night. And I'm not engaging in hyperbole by saying that, because all we've been talking about is Alabama. We remember the 35 points South Carolina dropped on Clemson. We remember how Syracuse gave them a run for their money, losing 27-23. We remember Texas A&M dropping 26 on them earlier this year in Jimbo Fisher's first year. We saw those things. We looked at the schedule and we said, you know what? Clemson's a good team, but Alabama's on another level. What Dabo Swinney showed us last night is that he's been waiting all year long to coach against this man, Nick Saban, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. And so when I look at it from that perspective, and I'm thinking about the monopoly that Alabama has had over college football, and now you've got Clemson, who's won 2 national titles within the last 4 years, going up against Alabama all 4 years. I think it's sensational for college football, and I also think in this sense, last night, there was a positive and a negative, believe it or not, to Nick Saban. The positive is that when you get annihilated like that, all of this stuff, no matter how much they're winning by, how Nick Saban stays on everybody, how he's known as a curmudgeon to some degree, constantly berating, constantly going after it, so intense, never a lax moment. We have just, we've decried that from time to time. We see now why he's that way, because you can never take any time off. You can never assume anything. You can never take anything for granted. And that's an incredible lesson for them to learn. That's the positive. The negative, however, is that when you look at Saban, it's like, wow, to lose like that and to get out-coached, like you pointed out, Marcus, that is a bad, bad moment. This is a bad day for Nick Saban, because the invincibility clearly, it's been stripped, no doubt.
It's terrible, Stephen A., and I agree with you. But I got to go back to Max. Max, who has the other 2 national championships?
Alabama.
Okay. All right. So we saw a game last night that was very lopsided, and I want to give Clemson all the credit that they deserve. They deserve to have a lot of credit in this game for what they did on the field. Max, but you're not that guy. You're living in the moment right now. All right, think about what happened to Clemson last year. And everybody was, and this was an anemic Alabama offense that Clemson lost to last year. I give Dabo credit for making the move to Trevor Lawrence. They had a senior-laden defense. Nobody's talking about Cleveland Farrell, Austin Bryant, Christian Wilkins, and Dexter Lawrence all might be going to the NFL next year. So we continue to talk about Clemson, and yes, they will be back. They'll be a very good team. But now they're about to start going through the same rigors that Alabama has been going through. They're about to start losing.
I'm not saying they took it from them yet. I'm saying, look, since 2015, Alabama and Clemson, same record, 55-4, same playoff appearances, 4, same titles, 2. So what I'm saying is they caught them. They're in the playoff era. If you extend it behind, in the playoff era, they're even. And now I'm saying I favor Clemson going forward because they have the best quarterback in college football, who is a true freshman this year and that has that experience, and they return a tremendous number of freshmen and sophomore players, and you can see Dabo Swinney head-to-head with Nick Saban is at least his equal in the last, 4 or 5 years. So what I'm saying is at this time next year, it could all be over.
Max, let me ask you this. At any point during the year, did you say Tua Tagovailoa was the best quarterback in college football?
Early on, yes. Early on, yes.
Okay, so we saw the performance by Trevor Lawrence last night.
It was more than early on.
No.
Yes, it was.
Check tapes, Stephen A.
Yes, I will. You've been saying it all year.
No, Trevor Lawrence has been the presumptive best quarterback in college football for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Whatever. I'm not going to go there.
Everybody has said Tua Tagovailoa was the best quarterback.
That is not true.
You haven't been paying attention.
That's not what you said. Go ahead.
The conversation was between Tua. The conversation was between Tua and Kyler. All right. And the reason why I'll give you some background analysis on me, because I'm like both of you guys. I'm easy to admit when I'm wrong. Since 2007, a freshman quarterback hadn't beat Nick Saban. And I looked at this game and I said to myself, yes, Trevor Lawrence has been great. Yes, Trevor Lawrence was the move that Dabo made to make this team better and push them forward as far as pushing the ball downfield because he knew he would have to have a passing game. That move was made because Tua Tagovailoa was at Alabama. I don't care what Dabo Swinney says. He understood that that was a step he would have to take in order to compete. But everybody now is saying Trevor Lawrence is the better quarterback. Look, Trevor Lawrence has a bright future. He'll probably be the first pick of the NFL draft in 2020 in his junior year. But let's not forget, because of last night, what the conversation revolved around all season long.
Stephen A. is intimating that I'm doing revisionist history here. No, I think that's actually revisionist history. Tua, to start the season, certainly was considered the best. And Tua, certainly on the Alabama team, seemed to give them something that Jalen Hurts didn't. It's like now it's just unfair because they have this great quarterback. And we all think he's great. He's going to be great on the next level, too, all that. But by about halfway through this season, Trevor Lawrence took over as the consensus guy who eventually would probably be the #1 pick and was probably the best player. The issue with him was that he was a true freshman. He didn't have the experience. That was the issue. So that was a surprise that he could do that as a true freshman. That's all.
Well, first of all, I beg to differ in terms of engaging in revisionist history. What I'm saying to you is I'm not saying you talk down about Trevor Lawrence. I'm saying you barely ever mentioned him. It was Marcus was right. It was about Tua. Let's see. They can find a tape because I'm telling you, I don't even recall you talking about Trevor Lawrence. But that's neither
That's absurd.
Nobody did, and that's fine.
That's not true.
I'm just telling you. I'm gonna ask to find the tape because I'm telling you, I don't recall. All right, now Marcus Spears. Let me get back to you because hold on. It's not that important right now. It's not that important.